Ember, 6 months old, was last seen with her father in July of 2015. Her father, Matthew, would tell investigators someone came into his house and abducted his daughter. But authorities state that Matthew's story has huge inconsistencies, and they have video footage to prove it. On top of that, investigators state that he didn't even seem interested in finding his daughter. Investigators believe that Ember is deceased and that Matthew is the sole person responsible. Her case remains unsolved. On July 2, 2015, Ember was last seen in her Happy Valley, California home with her father, Matthew Graham. Her mother at this time had been packing and moving into her father's trailer. Matthew told investigators that he had placed Ember asleep in her playpen and he had done a little recreational drugs and then passed out. He said that when he woke up at 5 a.m. to check on Ember, he realized that she was gone and called 911 at 5:26 a.m. to report she had been kidnapped. On the day that Matthew reports Ember missing, he is arrested for a probation violation because of his drug use, but he is released a few days later. Investigators start finding holes in Matthew's story right away. First off, he didn't seem interested in finding her, and there was no urgency in finding out what happened to his daughter. Investigators say that they could not find any, quote, credible evidence, end quote, to support Matthew's claims that a stranger had abducted Ember. The first thing investigators noted about the scene was that Ember's playpen was in a remote camp trailer on Matthew's property, which was gated and had guard dogs. They also stated that the trailer door was broken and that you needed a screwdriver to pry that door open. Matthew also told investigators that Ember is known to cry when strangers pick her up, but he didn't hear her crying at any point at night or during the morning. When investigators got surveillance from the nearby convenience store, the Happy Stop Market, it showed Matthew driving his truck and stopping at the Happy Stop with Ember in the car seat but not strapped in. Matthew would take Ember into the store, pump gas, and then drive away the opposite direction from his home with Ember in the vehicle. He told investigators that he did take Ember for a drive that night to help her fall asleep because she has anti-seizure medication and it made her restless. He told officers that while he did head the opposite direction from home initially, leaving the Happy Market, he did make a U-turn to return home after leaving the store. The trip from Matthew's house to Happy Stop would take less than 10 minutes, and surveillance footage does show Matthew drives past the Happy Stop again on his way home, but it would be over an hour later. 8 days later, on July 10th, a pacifier was found on Platina Road in a remote area of Ono, California, and Ember's mother would identify this as her daughter's pacifier. Investigators also processed DNA testing on the pacifier, which also determined it was Ember's. On July 11th, Matthew would steal his mother's cell phone, cash from her purse, and a semi-automatic handgun and attempt to flee the state. 3 days later, he would carjack a vehicle in Dunnysmar, California, which would lead police to a shootout where Matthew would be killed in the